Hey guys, let's get more news about Lakers, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Lakers shut down LeBron, AD trade rumors. The Lakers have no plans to break up their superstar duo ahead of the February 6 trade deadline, according to The Athletic's Jovan Buha, despite their 14-12 start fueling speculation about potential moves. Two players who almost certainly won't be traded, barring them asking out of Los Angeles, are Davis, $43.2 million, and James, $48.7 million, Buha reports. Instead, the team remains focused on strengthening the supporting cast around their all-star pairing. The report also indicates that Bronny James won't be included in any deals that don't involve his father, who holds a no-trade clause. While ESPN's Brian Windhorst revealed the Warriors will definitely monitor LeBron's situation, he noted James rejected a potential Golden State move at last year's deadline and has shown no interest in leaving Los Angeles. The Lakers do have tradable contracts in D'Angelo Russell, $18.7 million, Rui Hachimura, $17.0 million, Gabe Vincent, $11 million, and Jared Vanderbilt, $10.7 million. However, finding suitors has proven difficult, with the team previously unable to move Russell despite actively shopping him. Young talents Austin Reeves, Dalton Knecht and Max Christie appear safe, with the Lakers viewing all three as long-term core pieces on team-friendly deals. Any inclusion of this trio would likely only come in a deal for high-level star talent. While former James teammate Kendrick Perkins suggests the Lakers would entertain trading LeBron if he requested it, all signs point to the franchise doubling down on their current stars rather than considering any dramatic roster overhaul. As the February 6 trade deadline approaches, the Lakers appear focused on adding complementary pieces rather than considering any seismic moves involving their stars. While names like Russell and Vincent could be available, the team's commitment to both James and Davis along with their young core suggests any deals will be aimed at enhancing, not rebuilding, their current foundation. Ex-NBA guard makes wild suggestion about tired LeBron James whereabouts. When will LeBron James retire? It has truly become a million-dollar question as the Los Angeles Lakers superstar continues to defy his age. Even though he is about to turn 40 years old soon, James continues to be top player in the NBA. However, this season, many believe that LBJ showed true signs of decline. Related, it's not behind me, LeBron James concerning update on injury despite long rest. Just when the rumors were at an all-time high, James decided to take a personal leave and the Lakers apparently had no idea where the King went. After days of speculation, James returned to play in the Lakers' recent game against the Memphis Grizzlies. He looked a step quicker and it led to the birth of a plethora of theories about his whereabouts during his unexpected absence. Former NBA guard Theo Pinson recently gave his 2 cents on where James was at and he tied it to a popular fan theory about the Lakers star using some kind of medical enhancements to prolong his career. "My man, LeBron, tired," Pinson said. "Second thing is, he was in Germany. He had to take a little rest, he had to go. He was tired. It is what it is. Bron, you do what you need to do. Y'all remember James Harden, he took the fat suit off. That was unbelievable, that was in a week span. It's unheard of to see a player of James' age still dominate in the NBA at 39 years old. Evidently, fans are bound to question the real reason behind it. However, suggesting James is using a medical enhancement without solid proof seems like a low blow, especially for someone who has played in the NBA. Bobby Portis on the difference between the Bucks and the Lakers, "We're not Hollywood." The Milwaukee Bucks captured the 2024 NBA Cup title with a 97-81 victory over the Oklahoma City Thunder on Tuesday night. A great third quarter was key to the Bucks' win, as they outscored the Thunder by 12 points in that frame. Bucks big man Bobby Portis, who dropped 5 points, 9 rebounds, and 3 assists off the pine, spoke on the difference between the current iteration of Milwaukee and the Los Angeles Lakers team that won the 2023 NBA Cup title. "We're not Hollywood," he told The Athletic when asked about the Lakers comparison. "We have hard-working guys, who are selfless and who give themselves up for the betterment of the team. It's not about the points you score. It's all about winning, being connected. Our group is different from their group. We're just different in that regard of selfless guys that give themselves up. You can't really compare the two teams, not at all." The Lakers won the first NBA Cup title after they beat Tyrese Halliburton and the Indiana Pacers in the title game in December of last year. Anthony Davis was key to Los Angeles's victory, as he was a force to be reckoned with on both ends of the floor. The former University of Kentucky star totaled 41 points, while knocking down all but 8 of his 24 shots from the field. He also grabbed a whopping 15 defensive rebounds, 20 total, and blocked 4 shots. Los Angeles's assist total against the Pacers indicates that the team played selflessly with an NBA Cup championship at stake. The Lakers accumulated 25 assists, which is exactly the same number of assists that the Bucks finished with versus the Thunder. Last year's Lakers were certainly flawed, as they lost to the Denver Nuggets in 5 games in the opening round of the 2024 NBA playoffs, but there isn't much evidence to suggest they were selfish. Los Angeles ranked 5th in the league in assists per game a season ago, with 28.5. Plus, they were led by one of the NBA's all-time leaders in assists in LeBron James. James ranks 4th in league history in career assists with 11,227, and only John Stockton, Chris Paul and Jason Kidd are ahead of him in that regard. In light of Portis' comments, maybe the Lakers will be extra motivated to earn a win next time they take on the Bucks, which will be on March 13. The Lakers and Bucks have similar records right now, as the former owns a 14-12 record and sits as the number 10 seed in the West, while the latter is 14-11 and holds the number 5 seed. Go inside and behind the scenes at Crypto.com Arena and 7 Southern California venues. It's unusually quiet inside Crypto.com Arena on a recent Monday morning as tour guide Marvin Brooks Jr. leads a small group of visitors into the downtown Los Angeles landmark that recently celebrated its 25th anniversary. It's cold, too, thanks to the ice that covers the floor in anticipation of the Los Angeles Kings hockey game against the Dallas Kings 2 nights later. Over the next 90 minutes, Brooks takes his guests to places most people who come to Crypto.com Arena never see. There's a stop in the press box, so high above the ice, or hardwood court when the Los Angeles Lakers or Los Angeles Sparks are home, that it is level with the championship banners that hang from the rafters. We walk through City View Terrace. The space, except for a few rows of ticketed seats, is open to any fan with a ticket to grab a bite or a beverage. Then it's on to the Lexus Club, where a backroom once hosted Kobe Bryant's retirement party, and Yamava Club by San Manuel, both of which have more limited access. There are stops inside private suites that ring the venue on 3 different levels. Crypto is the only arena in the world with 3 tiers of suites, Brooks notes. There's a visit to the lowest floor of the arena with a walk through the Delta Sky 360 Club, the most exclusive club in the building, and a walk by the Kings and Lakers locker rooms and then out the tunnel through which the players access the ice and court. At the finish, we stop at a monument to the superstar Taylor Swift, who long before she launched the just-concluded record-breaking Eras Tour was honored by the then Staples Center with a championship banner of her own for selling out the venue a record 16 times. Earlier, in a hallway along the tour route, a photo of that moment, Swift receiving the banner mid-show from Kobe in 2015, was hung on a wall. Crypto.com Arena only started offering behind-the-scenes tours to the public on November 1, but it's not alone in Southern California. 7 other venues with capacities of 15,000 or more also offer tours for sports fans and music lovers to learn more about the places they mostly know from the perspective of their ticketed seats at games and concerts. Those include two of the newest ones, SoFi Stadium and Intuit Dome in Inglewood, a couple of stadiums where the Dodgers and Angels play baseball in Los Angeles and Anaheim, and three of the most historic venues on the West Coast in the Rose Bowl, Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum, and the Hollywood Bowl. We have had guests asking us for tours of the building for decades, says Amber Watts, Vice President of Guest Services for Crypto.com Arena. Since we opened, people have wanted to be able to come inside and see. People that live here, people that are season ticket holders, and also tourists. We finally had an opportunity to open up the building and start selling tickets and tours to the public, she says of the recent completion of extensive renovations at the arena. But it's just something that people have been asking for a very long time, and we didn't have the availability, because we had very few dark days in the building. With the upgrades finished and the Los Angeles Clippers leaving the arena for their new home at the Intuit Dome this year, and Crypto.com Arena celebrating 25 years in downtown Los Angeles, the time finally felt right. We decided this was a perfect time, and especially in conjunction with our 25th anniversary, it was an exciting time to do it, Watts says. Tours are currently only offered on days when the arena is dark, no games, concerts, or other events. Eventually, a slightly shorter tour will be offered early on game days, she says. The very first person that took our tour on November 1st was a guy that lives at 11th and Flower, Watts says. He and his wife were just like, we're 2 blocks away. We've never really seen a lot of parts of the building. We've been to a bunch of events here and thought it would be cool to come take a tour. We had a guy and his son that came from New Zealand or Australia that were huge Lakers fans, she continues. They wanted to take the tour and go to a Lakers game, but the Lakers were not in town at the same time, so they came and did a tour. They were just so excited to see, the Lakers locker room door and all of these really unique spaces. The father and son flew to Detroit the next day to see the Lakers play the Pistons, before catching a Lakers home game 3 weeks later on their return to Los Angeles, Watts says. Our tour guides that led their tour remembered them and came to their seats 3 weeks later when they came back, she says. Helped them take a picture near the court and got them some goodies. So it was really fun. It's all different types of people that are coming to take the tour and really enjoying it. NBA rumors, Lakers almost certainly won't trade LeBron James or Anthony Davis, but should they consider it? The Los Angeles Lakers function as buyers at almost every trade deadline. That's what tends to happen for teams that employ superstars as consistently as they do. The goal is always to supplement them, to push to win while they still can. This current Lakers front office has an iffy track record in that respect. It did put a championship roster around LeBron James and Anthony Davis in 2020, but only after missing on initial target Kawhi Leonard. The 2023 trade deadline acquisitions of D'Angelo Russell, Jared Vanderbilt and Malik Beasley helped spur a push to the Western Conference Finals, but everything that has happened since suggests that run was fairly circumstantial. None of those players grew into long-term, core pieces for the Lakers. The 2021 miss on Kyle Lowry, the 2024 miss on DeJounte Murray, and the complete inaction in 2022 stand out as inflection points for a Laker team that has probably left a bit of playoff meat on the bone since that 2020 run. The intent, though, has mostly been consistent even if the execution hasn't been. James and Davis, by and large, have been a championship-caliber duo since they united in 2019. The front office has mostly tried to give them the talent they need to win meaningfully. That is seemingly the goal yet again, according to The Athletic's Jovan Buha, who reported Tuesday that the Lakers are expected to be one of the more active buyers leading into the February 6 trade deadline as they try to maximize the final seasons of the LeBron James-Anthony Davis partnership. Of course, the longer this partnership lasts, the bleaker its prospects appear. James will turn 40 before the end of the month, and his age is finally starting to show. Davis has mostly looked like an All-NBA player this season, but an ugly stretch from the end of November through the beginning of December brought on by a bout with plantar fasciitis was a reminder of how precarious his health can be. The cast around them has, frankly, been miserable. Their 14-12 record through 26 games is their worst mark at this point on the calendar in any season that hasn't involved Russell Westbrook. The Lakers rank 22nd in the NBA in net rating, suggesting that they are overperforming that underwhelming record. Maybe there's a way to turn the Lakers back into the sort of winners they were in 2020. They've just never looked further from there than they do now. That has led to some fans wondering if this might be the end for the James Davis partnership, but Buha's reporting, for now at least, seems to slam the door on any notion of a breakup. Two players who almost certainly won't be traded, barring them asking out of Los Angeles, are Davis, $43.2 million, and James, $48.7 million, Buha wrote. A trade involving either, for a variety of reasons, would be enormously difficult. James literally negotiated a no-trade clause into the contract this offseason, but even if he hadn't, a player of his stature simply isn't getting traded without his approval. No team wants to acquire an angry LeBron James for optics alone. Davis doesn't have a no-trade clause, but he does have a max contract at a point in CBA history in which moving those during the season has never been harder. The sort of teams that might like to pay the Lakers a boatload of draft picks to get Davis are mostly near or above one of the aprons, making salary matching in such a deal quite complicated. Deals of that magnitude are rarely easy. It's even rarer that they're obvious winners. But at a certain point, the Lakers have to start thinking about what comes after James and Davis. This offseason was seemingly that time. So much of the focus of their hiring process for a new head coach, both in the pursuit of Connecticut national champion Dan Hurley and their eventual decision to pick J.J. Redick, was centered around player development. They chased Klay Thompson in free agency, yes, but when they missed out, they didn't force the issue on other win-now additions. For now, though, the Lakers seem to be keeping their options open as far as diving back into the contenders' pool. There's nothing wrong with that if the perfect deal presents itself, but just as a rebuilding trade would be complicated, the notion of fixing this roster in a single stroke seems downright impossible. Is there a trade out there that can fix this team's moribund perimeter defense, its three-point shooting volume and its front-court heft? If such a deal even did exist, would it be worth the limited draft capital the Lakers still have when James may no longer quite be James and Davis is constantly threatened by injuries? The window for the Lakers to compete seriously in the Western Conference may not necessarily be closed, but the crack is getting smaller and smaller by the day. It's so small at this point that it would be irresponsible of the Lakers to not at least consider alternative paths here. If some team is willing to throw the Lakers an enormous cache of future assets for Davis, what would really be lost long-term by taking it? If the Lakers are below .500 in the weeks leading up to the deadline, would keeping James through his retirement really be in this team's best long-term interest if, say, the Golden State Warriors were interested in re-engaging and perhaps sending them a young building block like Jonathan Kuminga? The Lakers want to be buyers right now. They almost always want to be buyers. But they don't fit the profile of a typical buyer, given the realities of their present roster situation. That doesn't mean they need to become sellers, but it's not an idea to dismiss out of hand. If this season continues to go south, a breakup may not just be warranted, but the clear best path forward for a team whose contention window is rapidly closing. Miami Heat, Major Jimmy Buttler to Los Angeles Lakers trade update. There is a major Jimmy Buttler to Los Angeles Lakers trade update, as the 35-year-old continues to be linked with a move away from the Miami Heat. Jimmy Buttler continues to be linked with a move away from the Miami Heat. The 35-year-old has been the face of the franchise since 2019 and guided them to 2 NBA Finals, but his future in South Beach remains clouded in uncertainty. He has a player option for next season, and there have been suggestions that he plans to turn it down to become a free agent. Of course, Buttler leaving as a free agent next summer is a risk for the Heat, and as a result, they could very well try to trade him at some point this season. The Los Angeles Lakers are a team that always finds its name amidst the headlines. And with LeBron James approaching his 40th birthday this month, they need to make some moves quickly if they want to challenge for the championship. Unsurprisingly, the Lakers have been linked with a move for Buttler as well, but it looks like a switch to Los Angeles is not on the cards for the 35-year-old. According to Jovan Buha in The Athletic, the Lakers are not anticipated to be heavily in the mix for Buttler. So, it looks like the Lakers are not one of the front-runners in the race to trade for Buttler. But there are quite a few other high-profile teams who have been linked with him lately. Of course, the Golden State Warriors are in a similar situation with Steph Curry and are believed to hold a level of interest in Buttler. The Dallas Mavericks, Houston Rockets, and Phoenix Suns have been suggested as possible destinations too. One cannot rule out the possibility of him remaining with the Heat either, although the organization seemed to be reluctant to hand him a big money extension owing to his age and long history of injuries. And you, fan? What do you think of the situation of Jimmy Buttler? Leave your opinion in the comments.